Hey, Claire here. I thought I'd talk a little bit about the third thing that I feel makes up an antidote to living in this crazy digital world and the culturescape we're in right now. And that element is simply our mindset. And what I mean by a mindset, I've spoken a little bit about this before, but it's really how we approach life and the view, I guess, we take of ourselves. Now, this can obviously have positive aspects to it and negative aspects to it. And it's also something that we can change and develop within ourselves. So if our mindset is very much based on you either have it or you don't, an idea of talent, if you like, and that is associated to our identity, it's very tied up in our identity and our sense of worth, then it can have quite an impact on how we live our lives. It can be quite limiting, actually. But if we cultivate and develop an awareness, certainly an awareness of a growth mindset, and that is that we are creatures that can adapt, that can learn, that can grow. We can increase our intelligence. That, in fact, talent, whilst it exists, people do have natural innate abilities and that are different from each other. It's not the be-all and end-all. It doesn't define your success at all, in fact, and evidence backs that up. The people who actually really succeed in life are people who have cultivated or have grown up with more of a growth-orientated mindset. So that really is the third element, and it starts with self-awareness. You know, even if you wake up, become conscious of the fact that you are approaching life with the idea that, you know, it's fixed. You either have it or you don't. And there's not a great deal you can do about that. You know, if you're coming at life from that perspective, just being aware of it means you can shift it. You can see it. Oh my word, you know? I'm living my life in a way that is all about proving myself. It's all about avoiding judgment and failure, because that in itself says something about me as a human being. It's about my worth as a human being. Heaven forbid I prove that I haven't got it. But just being aware of that, you can see it and you can shift it. And to do that, there is an element of letting go. So it's self-awareness. Okay, I can see it, but what do I do about it? Well, letting go some of the beliefs and assumptions and stories that shape how we live our lives. And we all have them. You know, the belief about what's possible or not possible for us, for our family, for our kids. We can let it go, and we can at least strive to gradually let these things go. And it can make a world of difference. It affects how we connect with other people. By letting that go, by, you know, taking down the mask that protects us all the time, means we connect with other people more deeply and in a more meaningful way. We connect with ourselves in a more meaningful way. We're starting to turn down the inner critic and make friends with an inner coach. Now, I've spoken about this before, so if this is something that you're aware of, forgive me, but it is so important, particularly if you've got kids, because if you've got children, you'll probably know what it feels like to worry about doing the best for them, about them manifesting the best life they possibly can do. And if your mindset is orientated towards a fixed idea of ability, then, we're going to be modelling that. It's very difficult not to. And for a long time, I wasn't aware of this myself, and I had a fixed mindset on roids. So it's really, really important to really understand where you're coming from and how transformative that is to people around you as well. So that is the third element. It's the ability to shift our perspective and our mindset towards embracing growth, learning, possibility, and becoming more resilient and more adaptable so we can grow and we can learn and life becomes limitless. And the bottom line is, whether it's us or our kids, we cannot manifest and create our best lives if we're hiding, if we're trying to prove we've got something all the time. We're avoiding failure, we're avoiding judgment, and it's just such a horrible feeling. Such a horrible feeling. But we're just handcuffing ourselves. But if we take the handcuffs off, and we just for a moment allow the idea of possibility, of we can change this, of learning something new, we take away the ceiling. And at the moment, I am doing this myself. I am striving to shift my perspective by learning to sing. Because, quite frankly, I sound like a strangled cat. And it is something that I do not believe I can do. I do not believe for 1 minute that I can learn to sing. So, what better way to model growth mindset to my daughter than to learn to sing? To literally commit to that. That's it. Don't need to believe it, just need to do it. So we'll see.